Eminem Revival review. We reacted to it. You can watch it in the top right-hand corner. Click our channel if you want to watch that reaction. Now we're giving you the full cohesive thoughts in the review after we've listened to it. Got all our notes, so we'll be touching on track by track overall thoughts.
I'm Alexander, man.
I'm Alexander Sandalis. Jungle Beats. Australia's plug to the best hip-hop and music in the world. So overall, this album was quite trash in a lot of ways.
Yeah, very trash.
And good in a couple of ways.
I want to touch on first with the features.
Yeah.
The features on this album, I'll read them out. I'm going to read them out quickly, and I just want you to give me a yay or nay and why. Beyonce.
Yes.
I agree. I think yes. I think
executed that well.
I feel like for a track on the album where I'm still not truly feeling it's been played on radio so much, for a track where it's more minimal, because a lot of this album, the instrumentation is quite cluttered.
Yes.
But for a track where it's so, like, where she can actually shine, which is what it should have been for Alicia Keys and Kehlani, I thought that, yeah, her feature was good. Fresher on Chloroseptic, the guy that did the hook.
I think that was one of the worst features on itself.
It didn't need to be there. It was so fucking out of place. It felt weird. It just took you out of the song. Thought it was fucking terrible. Ed Sheeran.
See, here's the thing. He's a good artist who can sing.
Yes, he is.
This album makes a lot of these features worse than they actually are.
Because it feels like you listen to more of a song by them. Or no, it feels like you listen to a song that's not even any of them. It's just like,
doesn't fit.
It's like they're both competing for who gets the track.
Right, it doesn't fit, doesn't meld.
It's like two people running a race to win, but no one's trying to win.
Huh, that's actually an interesting metaphor.
Yeah, Alicia Keys.
They fucked her. I love Alicia Keys, but you put too much around her. You put too much music around her. It was too busy, too chaotic.
Too many layers, too much going on.
Too glittery.
Even she couldn't save the song, which is a fucking rarity. Ex-Ambassador.
I don't know.
I thought it was just like...
I'm indifferent.
I thought it was just like, it was pretty shit. Skylar Grey.
You don't even think she can sing, so that's your...
She can sing.
Oh, okay.
It just doesn't sound like she has any emotion in her voice.
Okay.
It's like stepping on a tomato, and then you pick up the tomato and start eating it.
All right, next one.
Kehlani. I liked her feature. I just thought, like you were saying, I thought she had a good feature, but it didn't fit the song.
Yeah, that's really a lot of the problem with these features.
Yes, it was. Who else we got? We got Pink. God damn it. Did she really need a 3-minute fucking solo?
Yeah, that was weird. She was so long for the intro.
Holy
took
shit.
Forever.
But that's all the features that I've got written here. And honestly, the only one that I liked really was Beyonce and Kehlani.
All right.
I thought the structuring of this album sort of worked in a way with like content, what he was talking about, because he sort of went on from going at the start to being like, I'm vulnerable now, this is what I want to talk about, to being a bit more, believe Chloroseptic, to be a bit more, trying new flows, rapping like a bit more, then to go to like River, Remind Me, like Home, like get more softer. Like I feel like what he was talking about flowed well with the album, but the beat changes. Sometimes it switch up to this real rocky guitar track, then it would go back to this poppy melody.
Real confusing.
It was like a mixture of like terrible guitar like production with these really try hard fucking poppy lace fucking, I don't know. I just feel like the structuring beat wise was very lazy. Like he basically had all these tracks. He's like, oh,
he just threw them at the wall.
It's like he
fuck it. It's
like he stuck the tracks together with topic more based off beat, which I can get, but they're both got to match to me to make a good album.
100%, and it doesn't.
The mixing on this album, I want to touch on that. There were tracks where there was only a few tracks in this album, only a few tracks where I could listen to it and I could be like, I'm hearing this, I'm hearing that.
Like Walk on Water, it's a great one.
Walk on Water was really well done. I thought, I think Chloroseptic was pretty good.
But most of them weren't.
Most of them weren't. Like at times, like I'd be like hearing one thing loud and the other. I'd hear like so much going on that I couldn't like actually like reach out and grab onto each thing individually because it was just so messy.
He talked about before how sometimes, and he pointed this out to me, that the vocals were too high or too low, the drums are too high or too low, drowned out something.
So I just thought for someone with Eminem, with as much power as he has in the music industry, to not hear or want to change, like did he just hear this and just think, fuck it? Or did he hear it and like, I actually like that effect of non-professionality in a track?
I don't know.
All I can know is that for me, when I listen to music, I look for perfectionism. I listen for it. And when I hear it, I appreciate it. And it wasn't here. And he's the sort of man that couldn't even, he didn't even, all you had to do was just listen to it once and be like, pay this guy to do this.
The production for the most part was sporadic. It didn't fit. The start of the album was good though. We had those...
From Walk on Water to Believe to Chloroseptic to Untouchable. I like those first 4 tracks. I like Untouchable a lot more with this album.
Concept of the album.
Yeah.
But you notice the production, it kind of, the first 3 tracks, it kind of went together. The more modern production, he was trying different flows up, but it worked together. And then Untouchable was a little different, and then it continued to just River. It's like, oh, now we're getting a feature with Ed Sheeran. And now we get Remind Me. It's like very US and American production with those guitars. Then it goes back and forth and back and forth. It's confusing. It's not cohesive.
And I just say this in my review, in my reaction, try hard is the word I'm saying. About half of this album, if not more, I'd hear a beat and it would try and force an emotion out of me. I was just like say, for example, River or Like Home or Bad Husband, Tragic Ending, all of those tracks, like when the beat began, it built it up, like say with a violin around it, or like these heavy sounding drums and eerie, just like synths building up or whatever. Like it just tried to like force me to make me feel, this is an epic track, feel emotion, hear what he's saying, get really involved. And I'm just sitting there going, no, like it sounds like you, like I want to get that, I want the artist to make me feel that. I don't want this beat to try and just like pump me full of this fake fucking emotion. And I got that feeling for most of the album. It made me feel really uncomfortable. It was a very uncomfortable album at times to sit through. Probably half the album didn't deserve extra verses. I think they were all extra hooks. I thought there were things that dragged on a lot. What? Didn't you think that most of the tracks dragged on?
Yeah, especially when you had like 5 verses in one song. But some of those verses were actually interesting and intriguing.
See, that's the thing. But even though all the verses are actually interesting stuff, why not? I don't know. I just feel like some of these songs just really fucking dragged on. And like, if you're gonna do that, maybe have a beat change. Last thing before we get into the track list, the pauses on this album.
Pause.
There was like at least 4 or 5 tracks where they had these weird sporadic pause.
You said you kind of liked them at one point.
I liked it in 2 tracks.
Okay.
I think I liked it in Untouchable, I think it was, and I kind of liked it in Framed.
It's like you're getting into the song, you'd be like, and it's like, oh, what was that?
At times it just drew you away from the tracks, and at times it made the track sort of a bit more creative. Track 1, Walk on Water.
Now, did you hear a quote? He said, I'm doing my best to not ruin your expectations. It's a very self-aware track.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But that line contradicts pretty much the whole album.
Yeah, because...
You failed, Eminem. With a lot of people. You failed with Fantano, and you failed with us for the most part.
It sounds more like a closer than an opener. But I can get why it's an opener, because it shows new vulnerability that he hasn't really showcased very much. It's also the first radio track of the album, so when people buy the album, the first thing they hear is something they're familiar with.
And Beyonce, oh, Beyonce, let me get this one.
But I guess for me, it was a little plain. Like, as good as Beyonce's feature was, it still doesn't make me want to go back and listen to this track very much. It's sort of a track I listen to once or twice. I'm like, cool, I get the message, but I'm not invested enough to want to keep listening to this. Track 2, Believe.
It's more modern. Now we've got the more modern kind of flow now.
I liked a lot of this track. This is one of the tracks where I first heard the mixing was off, and I was like, because there was definitely times where like the instrumentation was very out of place or and I just kept noticing that, and it sort of was playing off me a lot.
There was lots of switch ups. Do you remember that in the song?
Yep. I liked the beat. I liked the different flows he was fucking with. He was basically rapping flows that definitely he was inspired by other rappers, I'd say, because he is a big fan of hip hop as much as doing it himself.
Yeah, you can
He's
see that.
always said that. I wasn't huge on the hook, but it was alright. It was more the beat and the verses that really held me here, and I was pretty happy with it. I was like, fuck yeah, like if this is the Eminem that we're going to be getting, like I kind of knew that the album was going to take a bad turn because of the features, but I thought
if it was going, it would continue at that point. It'd be a good album.
I especially like the last verse. I thought the last verse was a great closer. It's really good with albums or with tracks. Like if you're going to have a lot of verses, to make the verses all good each other. Because too many times you hear a track where like the second or the third or the fourth verse, like they still might be good, but you're bored already because it's gone over so long. I thought he ended the track with a really good verse. Chloroseptic.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what it means either. All I know is that Fresher, the feature on here was fucking terrible. I don't know why the fuck he kept it on here. And also, I think 2 Chainz is meant to be in this song. Because if you listen to the song, you hear a 2 Chainz, in this track.
I don't care about an ad-lib. So? It's got an ad-lib, okay.
I think 2 Chainz would have been great on this track. I thought this was...
Oh, but you're saying he's supposed to be on a feature?
Yeah, he even posted on Twitter.
Oh.
He posted like a thumbs down and angry face.
Oh, in reference to what? So he just thumbs down angry face?
With the Eminem track list, because he was meant to be on it.
Oh, right.
Because... on the track Believe, Eminem references 2 Chainz and references him in the track, and then in this track, it sounds like he was meant to be on it.
Because it was very modern beat production as well, so you probably would have worked.
Yeah, I thought the fucking beat was hard as fuck on Chloroseptic. I thought the beat was fucking really good. I thought the verses were really fucking on point. I loved all the verses on it. Were you a pretty big fan of it, or?
I can't really remember the verses, but I enjoyed that track the same as I did the second.
So yeah, and it was really building up. So I was sitting there going, fuck yeah, this album is so far really fresh. There's different flows, there's different beats. It's an unfamiliar M territory, and he's killing it. That's how we thought. So, and this is where it starts to get to the Untouchables track 4.
Now, it fits better in the context of this album. We know that.
Yeah, when we first reviewed it, we were unsure. We didn't know if it was good or if it was bad. We were just sort of lending our thoughts, but not sure. Whereas here, I quite enjoyed it.
I still think it's mediocre, but it's important content. I just think he could have delivered it better.
I enjoyed the verses more. I like the switch up in the middle with like the... I thought it was very Outkast-like, the switch up. Like a very Miss Jackson Outkast vibe on the switch up. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot more. I do think the ending dragged on a bit too long with the second switch up. But besides that, I thought it was a pretty good track. And then it gets to River with Ed Sheeran.
And then it begins.
We're just, this is what I was saying. Your plane's taken off. You're soaring. Reached altitude, you're fine. And this is when, like, the lights are off. The turbulence has started. You're feeling okay, but there's a chance you may die.
I'm not feeling okay if there's a chance I'm going to die.
Spoiler alert, you're going to fucking die.
But it's not as bad as I thought it would be.
Really?
Yes.
It's as bad as I thought it'd be.
Well, that's all right.
Well, for one, I'm not huge on Ed Sheeran. I admit he's talented. The beat was so fucking pop-laced and the fucking happy... It felt like I was in a fucking circle of like 12 fucking kids in kindergarten. Be like, hey kids, want to hear a story? Yeah! Alrighty, let's go! That's what... And I'm
hey kids, what's that?
And I'm
a car?
Oh yeah.
What's that?
What's B stand for? Bad. I don't fucking know. All I know is I felt like I was sitting there in the corner with a fucking rain cloud over my head, and the kids are like, why is he angry? I don't know, but he needs to cheer up. Holy shit. The hook was terrible. The beat was fucking lame. I hated it.
6.
6 and 7, because there's an interlude.
Yeah, I don't know why I put that interlude, but whatever.
The interlude was fucking lame. It was weird. It was out of place. I didn't like it. The sampling on here was probably the worst on the album. The I Love Rock and Roll one.
Yeah.
The I Love Rock and Roll.
We weren't fucking with that.
That was so cringy. It was so distasteful. It was so...
Distasteful?
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean?
As in, like, when you hear it, it was just like it left a sour feeling in your mouth.
Okay.
It was distasteful.
Okay.
I found it unlistenable. It's probably the track on the album out of everything I heard that I would probably think is the worst track in this album.
It doesn't fit, bro.
It was the worst track in this album. Whew.
8, another interlude. Again, that's not needed. 6 and 8, confusing interludes.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind the interlude, but it just didn't fit in there.
Yeah,
it was a better interlude, but it didn't fit in whatsoever.
And then we got 9, we got Alicia's track. They fucked Alicia up by making her all glittery. It's too maximalist. The production was too maximalist.
And this is the track where I realized that a lot of the beats were making me really try and feel emotion. Like it was trying to force it upon me. This is the track where I really started to realize it.
Feel sad.
Yeah, that's where I started to feel it. I really like the second verse on here. I thought Eminem's second verse in this track is really good. But I'm just still sad that like Alicia didn't get a chance to shine. Like she really tried to do well on this beat, but they just didn't let her. And that really left me feeling
held her down, man.
Pretty annoyed. Bad husbands with ex-ambassadors. Just sounded empty to me.
Not the best choice of production is what I wrote here. Weird, messy.
It sounded like a previous beat we'd already heard. It sounded like I'd already heard this track already, and the feature was just like, they just chucked it on there because like, oh, what do we put here? Chuck this feature here. It'll make you feel something.
Do you remember what he was talking about? Like he was talking about like family, he was storytelling, he was like important topics. And
see, that's why I wrote here, features sucked so hard that it was hard to focus on verses.
Right.
And I also wrote the message was pretty good, although I didn't get a clear concept of it.
Right, so family, self-reflection.
See, I couldn't capture a lot of that because I was just so turned off by the beat and the feature. That's music to me though. Like I'm sure if I listen to it again, I get it, but it was just so hard for me to concentrate.
I'm sure that happens to a lot of people.
Yeah. Tragic endings with Skylar Grey. All I wrote was trash.
I wrote mixing question mark.
Next track.
Next track.
Framed.
What?
Framed. Framed! Good job! No!
You'll zoom in on that.
Holy damn. It sounded like something off of South Park. It's like Cartman had grabbed the mic and be like, holy shit. But you know what's funny about this track? Is I fucking love the beat. I love the verses, and it also sounds like something off of Relapse. If you listen to Relapse and listen to his verse, his verses and the beat, it sounds very Relapse-like. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a leftover of Relapse that he remastered a bit. But yeah, I love the flow. I love the verses. And
minus that those ad libs, it was a kind of refreshing flow.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, because I find the verse so comedic, I can listen to it and enjoy it. Because it's not a beat that I hate. It's a beat that's just, I mean, it's just a hook that's funny to me. It's a hilarious hook. Nowhere Fast with Kalani.
Feature doesn't fit.
I like the feature, but you're right, it didn't fit.
No, you don't have to like. I mean, I might disagree.
The beat, pretty average.
Yeah, the really weird sporadic violin.
It was really weird. And the hi-hat in this album was the fucking worst hi-hat I've heard in a long time. It was just like...
Is that what that was?
It was like the only thing I could hear. This whole song, I'm hearing the beat, I'm hearing Eminem, I'm hearing Kehlani, but all I can hear this whole song is this fucking mincy, twinking fucking hi-hat that just wouldn't shut the fuck up. It's like, oh, how do you not realize that hi-hat is too loud? Or this hi-hat is too abrasive? I was like, ah! Oh my fucking God, I just couldn't. Oh, and that fucking bridge that was in the middle where he just voiced over his, it was just so out of place. I mean, everything about this track, everything was out of place, everything was scattered, and it was all jumbled and put together. It's like someone had made a fucking cake, but they'd like mixed like fucking 4 different flavors in it. It's an ice cream truck! Do you want ice cream?
There might be pedophiles. Hold on.
Heat.
Brockhampton did it better. Next.
All I'm going to say is basically the guitar's weird as fuck. I actually found it a funny track because
it's very corny. It's corny as fuck.
That hook was fucking hilarious. I lost my shit, man. And the verses were good though. The verses were good on Heat. But this is to me the best track on the album though.
Wait, are we doing track 14, track 15?
What are you doing?
What are we doing? Track 14 or 15?
We just did track 14 now. Heat.
And we're doing track 15 now.
Yeah, we said next after 14.
Oh, my bad. I thought you actually staying on it.
Yeah,
the turd line.
Yeah,
Till everybody eats my turd.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was a funny track.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it because it was funny.
It was not too serious.
Like, the hook was hilarious, man. Like, oh my God. I even wrote it twice. And the guitar that comes in and out of this album was just like, I found this track. Like, I actually enjoy Eminem when he's doing tracks that are like hilarious like this. I don't think he intends to, but I find it really funny.
But the rest of the song was actually really good.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was eclectic.
The verses were on point. The verses were great. So, yeah.
And hopefully our reaction captured it. The footage might have cut out.
Hopefully. And then we had Offended, which I hope we got it on camera because holy shit, this track was hard.
Oh, I hope you got this one on camera, I mean. My bad.
This one. Fuck, man. Like, well, dude, of course, there's 19 tracks. We're definitely...
Wait, are we doing track 16 now?
No, we're doing track 15 now.
Oh, I'm confused. All right, let's go. Track 15 was the turd line.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, it was, yeah. But we're doing track 15 now.
Oh, my thoughts about what I said before.
It's the same, because it was the same sort of thing. Like, the verses on this thing was amazing. He used like 1,000 different flows on it.
Yeah, this is great.
The beat, like the way that he built, it was actually great. They actually had a beat where instead of it was just like poppy the whole way through, he built it up. They built up around him delivering lines, and the bass came in at good times. The pauses on and off came in at good times. It was a track where, for once on this album, the structuring made sense. And
one of the highlight tracks right there.
Oh, and the hook was just like, I don't know. It was so fucking hilarious. Oh man, the best track. Regardless of the hook, it's the best track.
And then how do you go from that to 16? Swimming in that, yeah. How do you go from that to 16?
Oh, Pink had like a fucking 2 to 3 minutes.
2 minute intro. It's too much.
I was so bored, man. I think all I wrote was boring. Why? Oh, why? And it sounded religious. It made me feel like I was listening to a fucking.
Well, this
Christian
album has
song.
religious undertones. The
Little.
one line though, swimming in that Egyptian river because I'm in denial.
Oh, that reminds me of one line I heard as well. The one where he goes.
I actually don't mind that.
He goes.
I actually like that.
He goes, you got buns, I got Asperger's. I heard it and I was like, holy fuck. What happened to you, Em?
What didn't happen?
In your head.
17?
Yeah, 17.
I'm indifferent. I don't care for it. It didn't capture me. The end.
Well, I knew the sample. The sample was pretty... It's been overused so much. I found it boring. It sounded like a leftover from Marshall Mathers LP2. If you listen to Marshall Mathers LP2, it had that same... Because a lot of tracks in the album sampled and used hooks from tracks similar to this one. So I honestly think it was a leftover. I was bored the fuck out of that track. Holy shit. Then we had the last 2 tracks, which I thought were quite good. We had Castle, which had a Led Zeppelin sample, I believe. Stairway to Heaven, I could be wrong. But it sounded like a Led Zeppelin sample. I thought the hook worked. It was weird because after hearing so many so many features and hooks that didn't fit in, to have one that actually fucking worked. I was still a bit bored because it dragged on a bit, but I quite enjoyed most of the verses.
Nah, it's one of the better tracks. I half liked it, and he said D. Haley, so he was storytelling in this track. It was an important track, and he did that again in the last one.
And it definitely had a recovery feel to it, Castle. So it's weird, there's a few tracks in this album where I was like, oh, this is from Relapse, this is from Mathematics LP2, this is from Recovery. And the last track is when I was actually really fucking happy with.
Probably the best track.
I mean, it was so lyrically intense. It was really beautiful but dark. Like, had a huge darkness to it, but like a real beautiful death darkness to it.
Did it have an old Eminem feel to you? Like a Marshall Mathers kind of beat and lyricism were all on point?
Nah, it's still, in terms of being really strong delivery-wise with his lyrics, because his delivery wasn't too good on this album. I feel like his delivery with punching those lyrics was
great.
Yeah, so I feel like he still had that old M with it there. Yeah, I was really, really happy. I did get a little bored with the instrumental, but because he was saying so much, I kind of got
Caught your attention.
I think because I'd heard so much trash in this album, it was really hard for me to pay attention.
And it's so long too. We're 19 tracks in.
Yeah, man. Exactly.
Like, we need stamina.
But I remember just hearing like 18, 19 and be like, do I like these tracks? Do I not? And then the ending happened. And he shot himself. And then he rewinded. So what if I could rewind? He rewinded to like the last 30 seconds of Castle where he changed it, where he didn't kill himself, and he flushed the drugs down the toilet.
Exactly, which is really cool.
Which is such a cool fucking outro. Holy shit.
And did you catch a line where he said this will be his last album?
No.
He said it. If you want to look up Rap Genies, but he said something about this being his last album.
I'm sorry, Em. You can't end on this trash. For a rapper as impactful as you, either you should have ended on fucking Recovery, or you end on an album that's fucking 10 tracks and actually good. Because even if I chose 10 tracks from this, it'd still be trash.
He's in his 40s now, you know.
Jay-Z's in his 40s. He just released a classic.
Look, you're right. But you know what? You're right.
There you go.
But I don't know. Do you think there's only so many albums these artists will continue to create?
But he's still rapping well. The best tracks on this album are when he's rapping differently, when he's rapping more new school, like when he's rapping on beats that are more new school, like. I think he needs to take that in and be like, I can't keep being this old M. I can't keep being this pop M. I need to be this new fucking M. I need to do new bars, new fucking beats, like that shit worked. The second, third track worked so fucking well, and then you get disappointed from the rest of the album.
Tell him,
because it sounds like you've evolved from Recovery and not learnt from people hating.
You've de-evolved.
You've just evolved.
You've gone from a Bulbasaur. You've gone from what is he gone from?
Well, you can't go down from Bulbasaur, but if there was one, and plus Bulbasaur's the best starter, it'd probably be more like a Charmander. I know y'all are gonna hate me from this, but Charmander the worst starter. Yeah, I'm sorry.
But overall, to wrap it up in a nice little bow.
To wrap it up,
this is a
trash.
Very below average album with some good tracks and some highlights on it. Very questionable production, messy, chaotic, not good.
The highlights are not enough to save it. All in all, the tracks I go back to here are the ones that make me laugh.
Like
what does that tell you?
It's like a 4-track album then.
We're Jungle Beats. Thank you very much for watching.
Tell us below what you think of this new style of review. If you like it, hey, it doesn't mean we have to stick to it. If you love it or not, leave your thoughts below. Here's our review.
Yo, all love y'all. Holy shit, I can't wait to fucking take a shit being the album I just listened to.
2017, done. See you in 2018.
Holy shit.
My pen and paper cause a chain reaction to get your brain relaxing. A zaniac, the maniac in action. A brainiac in fact, son. You mainly lack attraction. You look insanely whack when just a fraction of my tracks run. My rhyming skills got you climbing hills. I travel through your mind into your spine like siren drills. I'm sliming grills of roaches with spray to disinfectants, with an X of rappers to their spinal column disconnect.